Hello and a very warm welcome. Today we're going to explore something really powerful but often invisible, friendship, and how our connections quite literally shape the person we become.
So, I want to start by asking you something. Have you ever really, truly paused to consider the immense impact your friends have had on you? I mean, it's a feeling we all have, but maybe it's not something we analyze all that often. And that's really the heart of what we're talking about today. We all cherish our friends, of course, but what we tend to overlook is the deep, almost scientific power these relationships hold. We're going to pull back the curtain on that and look at the actual mechanics behind these vital connections.
So here's our roadmap. First, we'll talk about friendship as your own personal social superpower. Then, we'll get into how friends forge your identity. After that, we'll see how they act as guides when life gets tough, and we'll unpack the delicate dance of connection. We'll finish up by looking at what friendship means in our modern digital world. By the end, I think you'll see your own friendships in a completely new light.
All right, so first up, your social superpower. This is all about how our friendships build real-world connections and can actually open doors to new opportunities for us. The key concept we need to wrap our heads around here is something called social capital. You can think of it as the total value of all the benefits you get from your social networks. It's all built on trust and shared connections. And it really gets to the heart of that old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
And check this out. This is a perfect real-world example. This person, James, he landed a good job as a computer operator because he had a friend in personnel. Then, down the line, he got an even better job with some help from another friend. That is social capital in action, turning a personal connection into a real, tangible opportunity.
And this really shows how broad the benefits are. Social capital isn't just about jobs, not by a long shot. It's our access to emotional support, finding a helping hand when we really need one. It can even help lessen the impact of things like socioeconomic disadvantage. Strong social networks genuinely help whole communities thrive.
So we've talked about the external benefits, the opportunities. But what about the internal stuff? Well, that brings us right to our second section, how friends shape you. Here, we're shifting our focus from what friends do for us to how they influence who we are.
Now here's a crucial point. Our identities aren't these fixed things we're just born with. They are, in a very real way, socially created. Our friends become what sociologists call significant others. These are the people who are absolutely fundamental in shaping our sense of self just through our day-to-day interactions with them. And just think about the direct impact this has on our character. When we have active, trusting friendships, it can help build our tolerance for others, reduce cynicism, and really increase our empathy. Friends give us a sounding board to test out our own views, and they can even act as a buffer against negative influences. It's like this powerful feedback loop for personal growth.
This all ties into this bigger, lifelong process called socialization. It's basically how we learn all the attitudes, values, and behaviors that are considered appropriate for our culture. And while our families might be our first teachers, our friends become absolutely crucial partners in this process as we grow and try to figure out the world.
A massive part of that socialization process is learning how to deal with adversity. And that leads us to Section 3, Guides Through Life's Challenges. This is where we look at how friends help us navigate the difficult times.
This quote here, from a man named Freddie, is just incredibly powerful. He was talking about navigating what he called life's sticky shit, and how reading a story that captured those same struggles made him feel seen. He says, "People look at me and they got no idea what I've done, but it was all in the book." Our friends do that for us too. They validate our struggles. They make us feel understood.
And friends do more than just listen. They provide what's called an object lesson. By watching how our friends cope with challenges that are similar to our own, we get a kind of blueprint. That vague feeling of unhappiness can actually turn into a clear, actionable task, just by seeing how someone we trust is handling it.
Okay, so how do these supportive connections actually work? On a moment-to-moment basis. That's what we're going to explore in Section 4, the dance of connection. We're going to focus on how we learn to master trust and the way we present ourselves to others.
We are all the time, engaged in something called impression management. Now, I know that might sound a little bit fake or calculated, but it's not about that. It's simply the different techniques we all use to present a certain version of ourselves in social situations. It's a completely natural and necessary skill for having smooth interactions.
For example, we often maintain what's called a veneer of consensus.
What this means is that we might hold back our immediate raw feelings in order to maintain a surface of agreement and just keep the interaction harmonious. It's really about showing mutual respect to keep that connection strong.
So, if we're not always being 100% upfront, how do we get past that surface level to build real trust? Well, the process is a kind of guarded disclosure. It's almost like a careful dance. You offer a small opinion, then you wait for some reassurance from your friend. When you get it, you reveal a little more. It's how we build that deep, mutual trust, safely, one step at a time.
Of course, that entire dance of connection looks very different today than it did just a few decades ago. So for our final section, let's explore friendship in the digital age and take a look at our evolving connections.
This comparison is pretty fascinating when you break it down. Face-to-face friendships, they rely on physical closeness and all those nonverbal cues. But online connections, they can transcend geography entirely, but they're often text-based and can be a lot more planned out. Neither one is better or worse. They're just different, with their own unique set of rules.
And one of those brand new rules is netiquette. It's basically the code of conduct for polite and appropriate communication online. It's this whole new social landscape we've all had to learn how to navigate, and that includes the supercritical skill of figuring out what's real and what's not.
Okay, so let's pull all of this together. What are the big takeaways here? First, friends provide social capital, opening doors for us. Second, they are absolutely vital in shaping our very identity and character. Third, they guide us through life's biggest challenges. And fourth, they teach us the incredibly subtle art of social interaction and how to build trust. And that leaves us with one final thought to take with you. As you think about your own friendships, how do you see these connections continuing to shape your journey? And, just as importantly, what role will you play in shaping theirs?
I would genuinely love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below. If you found this helpful, please give the video a like and subscribe for more content that tries to make the unseen visible. Thank you so much for watching.